247 horsepower. We've only got 228. And I figured I didn't have to pay the extra 20,000 to do that last step engine upgrade. Save some money. Cheaper maintenance cost. And the tractor can still do everything I need it to do. The primary job of this tractor is going to be this spraying. And it may be a little bit light on horsepower for the spreader for when I'm doing lime, but lime is empty field work, no sensors, so I can do that with the John Deere. So we'll see how that works out. Guess we can get in the cab and see what we're doing under the trees. Okay, real world time is 11 o'clock, so we will probably go for another hour and then call it a day. So I might as well let it be known that I've actually changed the TLX van to unrealistic shipping. So it can carry, I think, about 70,000 litres of stuff rather than 6. Oh, actually, excuse me, this is what we want. Because I was finding driving across the map 10 times to empty 20,000 litres of tomatoes was just getting ridiculous. So hence I went for the unrealistic truck. We can do everything in one trip. I mean, the problem with that truck is it can only transport one commodity. So I have to do a trip with tomatoes, I have to do a trip with honey, I have to do a trip with flour, it's one thing at a time. So it doesn't matter how much it can take. But I guess I might do that October 2. So we'll get this field done. Still not raining. Yeah, you're gonna say hello.
Hi.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Watching TV and I want to go outside, but little Kate doesn't want to go outside.
You're in your pajamas. You can't go outside in your pajamas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Billy though, and Kate doesn't.
Is Bailey in her pajamas?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, I guess. It's supposed to stop raining. Actually, that says cloudy.
Wait, it stopped the rain then?
Huh?
It stopped the rain then?
Well, maybe. Mm. 20% done, and rain ending around 11:15, so in about 7 minutes, the local rain will finish. And then it's cloudy all day until 4 p.m. when there's more rain. So, okay. To be fair, it actually looks like it stopped raining. Unfortunately, there's raindrops all over the what's it? The thing that stops the bugs coming through open windows. What's that called? Anyway, there's raindrops all over that, so it's hard to see whether it's raining or not behind that. But then we will have a happy small child who can go and play outside. Although that said, I think he wants to go and chalk on the sidewalk, and that's not really going to work because the sidewalk's wet. Obviously. Okay, come on, let's get this done. So I'm trying to let this drift out a little bit so that we're using more of the boom, and thus the job is a little bit more efficient. Did I collect on the last one? I didn't, did I? That's fine. And whoa, just timed that turn fairly nicely. Okay. Now, all of these fields still need two layers of fertilization. It looks like the fields that need to be harvested are the ones that generally are fully fertilized. And at this time of year, obviously, we're looking at some fields aren't fertilized and some fields are already planted. Ours are already planted. We're not doing sunflowers at the moment because I don't have a header on the harvester. We're not doing corn because I don't have a header on the harvester. We're not doing soybeans because I kind of wanted to take a break from soybeans this year. We did do a big load of soybeans last year. But this year we've gone mostly from cereals. We've got 2 fields of canola. I don't own the oil mill, so that's just a straight sale item. And then we've got a lot of barley because the cows eat that. And then I can't remember if I got any wheat or not. I think the rest is oats because that's a good. We need 100,000 litres of flour per year to keep the bread factory. I think they call it a baker, running for the entire year. So that's what we do. Window screen. Windows, yes, window screen. Screen. Oh, yes, that's the word for the thing that stops bugs coming through an open window. Sadly, we've got a screen door which doesn't have a screen on it at the front of the house, so we can't actually open up our front door and let the air come through. Every other door has a screen door. Unfortunately, the screen tore on the or was torn on the front door, so I either need to get another screen and fix it, or I need to get a new screen door. We did have a really nice one on our last house, which the screen wasn't there. You just had 2 panels of glass. The screen was rolled away in the frame at the top and the bottom, and when you opened the glass, it pulled the screen down, which I kind of liked that. Slowly bringing, I mean, we've been in this house since 2020, March of 2020, and slowly bringing stuff up to where I want it to be. I have finally replaced every single bulb that is the squirrely fluorescent, compact fluorescent, or an incandescent. We're now 100% LED lights in the house. And the front porch light is now has a light sensor built in. So when you go out, you can turn the light on, and when it gets dark, the light comes on. It's getting really hard to find those that don't have motion sensors as well. Which I don't want a motion sensor light. I either want the porch light on or off. I don't need it looking for people and turning on. Yeah. I was finding the same with, finding an interior light. We've got some above cabinet lights, and they're not official above cabinet lights. They're kind of white strip of lights that you could hang on a Christmas tree if you felt like it. Lights, and they're plugged into a timer. And the whole timer thing was set up by the previous owner. And because the timer's on top of the cabinets, if I wanted to change what time the lights come on and go off, I'd have to climb on a chair or a step ladder to get up there in order to change the setting, which is annoying. So I don't do it. And obviously, living in Michigan, yes, we're complete. I wasn't paying attention. In Michigan, during the winter, you want the lights to come on at 6 o'clock at night and go off at 8 o'clock in the morning, and during summer, not so much. Oh, what was that one? Lift and fold. There we go. So, you kind of want it turned on and off at different times of the year. With the fish tank, I'm perfectly happy. During the summer, the lights come on at 8 o'clock in the morning, they go off at 8 o'clock in the evening, and the fish and the plants have 12 hours of light per day, whether it's summer or winter. During winter, it's 7 o'clock till 7 o'clock because of daylight savings. That I don't change that. I just leave it. But the lights in the kitchen, now you get up in the morning and it's sunshine outside and the lights are on top of the cabinet, which I'd kind of like them off. So I've been looking for a light sensor that I can just plug the lights into, and when it's dark they come on, and when it's daylight they go off. The problem is most of them are motion sensor outlets, so they detect when someone is in the kitchen and turn the lights on, which isn't really what I want. And on some of the others which have the light sensor, the light sensor tends to run hot, which is bad, because when the lights are off, it's just, I don't know, it's still taking the power, it's just not feeding the power through to the lights. So that's one bad thing. And the other one is reading the reviews. Well, I bought this because I thought it would be a really good idea, but what it did was I plugged the lights into it. When it got dark, the lights turned on, and the brightness of the lights caused too much light for the light detector, so it then turned the lights off. So now I've got lights that turn on and off at intervals. So they're sort of, okay, so it's a nice idea, but really not practical. Now, one thing I was thinking was, well, maybe I can put the light sensor on the side of the cabinets because that's not where the light is. keep it plugged into the timer. So the timer defines generally when it's dark, but the light sensor determines when it's actually dark. But I still haven't found anything that really works that well. Okay, we're going to keep this loaded with liquid fertilizer because we'll be going out tomorrow with that. Still not raining. Stop. And we will pedal back to this dude. It looks like we've done a trip recently with not that one, 7-Eleven, that's what I want. Now the TLX is auto load, but I think we're just going to do this with our little skid steer. If I can remember where I put the pallet forks, I think they're at the end here. So I think this came in on a store sale too. It's 10.5 hours, so this probably came in on a store sale too, because I really haven't used it that much. Nice thing with this one is it's got a hitch on the back, so I can use it to maneuver some things around the farm. Now while this thing does auto-load, it auto-loads faster if you put the product in the back of it. Come on. There we go. So we should have quite a lot of tomatoes today. So the mandatory produce sale per month is basically so I don't save up until best price and just have massive income at certain points through the year. What I'm actually doing here is, there's still more plates, yes. Yeah, we have to do them monthly because they're perishables. They'll go bad if we don't sell them. But it does mean we get a fairly nice steady income throughout the year. Peaks and troughs depending on, is it the best price for tomatoes at the moment, or is it the best price for bread or that type of thing. But for the most part, yeah, we're just making a reasonable amount of money through the year, and it helps with our finances because our finances are kind of having issues at the moment. Okay, I think I said we had 5. I've got that on the floor. So yeah, as I was saying, this has a tow hitch on the back, which means I can actually use it to manhandle other things which have a tow hitch. Come on. Thank you. So now for the vehicle inspector, you can see I have 2,000 tomatoes on board at 2% of the total capacity, and that's because I left the engine running. If I turn the engine off, it would disappear from that list. But we are going to be able to... Well, maybe. Grab the next pile of boxes, except fail. Okay, 3, 2, 1, done. There we are. Back off. I've got what I'm calling a light lifter. I've got the skid steer here. I've got 2 telly trucks at various locations. I've got the New Holland skid steer at one location. Oh, there was an extra one. And it means I don't have to take a light lifter around with me or drive around with a tractor with a front loader. I can just do all of this just at location with the truck. I don't think there's any more tomatoes in the and we could. The reason I bought the garden was in case I decided to do pigs, we could use the garden to produce potatoes or something. And I wouldn't have to buy the expensive harvesting equipment to make potatoes and the like. But that kind of hasn't really worked out for us. Did I fail to drop off? Yes, I did. Okay, again, we'll wait for the pallet to expire. One of the things I have noticed with FarmSim 22, with FarmSim 19, you used to have a lot of issues with just trying to get pallets off the forks, and it seemed to get fixed early on in FarmSim 22, but then it got a whole lot worse, and the result has really been sometimes you just end up with pallet stuck on forks, and the only way to get the pallet, the thing off the fork, is to detach the fork, which is another reason why I've avoided using forklifts, because you can't take the forks off them. Whereas, because this is a skid steer, it uses a skid steer fork attachment. I can detach the fork and then reattach it, and the pallet will come off. I think in some cases bales are similar. You can get the bales just stuck on your fork or your spike, and the only way to get them off is to detach the attachment. Okay. I'm going to get out and have a look what's in here still. Okay, we're now down to 650. So these are the last 8 pallets. I lied. Each pallet is only 500 litres, which is why it went more than I thought it was. So 5,000 pallets makes 10, or 5,000 tomatoes makes 10 pallets, not what I was thinking, 5. Well, that's the last one. Go to the end. Get the ones that are furthest away. Can I get that again? Yes, gotcha. I think eventually a skid steer would not a skid steer, a telehandler would probably do me better on the farm. We did used to use one of the tele trucks here, and the tele trucks are they're better than a forklift for lifting heavy weights, because like the skid steer, the boom hinges from the back, so most of your weight is behind the lifting edge. But a tele truck, this can lift more weight than a tele truck, but the tele truck still has the ability to reach because telescopic boom. But if you want to lift 11,000 litre straw bales, even this, you can only lift one straw bale at a time. A telehandler, you could probably pick up two. But a tele truck struggles with the biggest bales sometimes. Which is why, as soon as this thing came up, I said, oh yeah, this is good, and we'll go with this instead of the tele truck. Guess there's going to be a Mummy, he won't let me watch the TV show I want to watch. He's been watching his TV show all morning. Or something like that. Oh no, they're laughing. Oh, yes, sorry. It's gone 11:15. The sun has come out and small children want to play outside. Teenage Osa wants to be a big meanie and not play outside. Oops. And again. Oh, just totally messed up.